Hi, I'm Jason Kyo. Welcome back to the Tachyon Tuesday vlog. This follows, as always, from a blog, and the last Tachyon Tuesday blog was about the 4 S's of excellent end user experience. So, as it said in the blog, the 4 S's were self-heal, self-service, service desk augmentation, and sentiment monitoring. We're going to look at the first 2 of these in this video, and then next week we'll have another video looking at the back half on this one. So we're going to look at self-healing and self-service, and we're going to look at actually how these things are interconnected in some ways as well. So from a self-service point of view, we're going to be looking at some cool technology using both ServiceNow and Teams and some AI and NLP in there. And from a self-healing point of view, we're going to be looking at the guaranteed state functionality in Tachyon, which allows you to define policies and rules. The self-healing side tends to have 2 core functions. One is around endpoint health. So we're looking for common problems that happen on, with Windows itself, with subcomponents of Windows, with third-party applications, or with management tools like SCCM, MCM, etc., Intune, whatever it might be, security tools. So there's 2 sides. One is that health side, and the other side is around security, monitoring for things that shouldn't be happening and remediating them potentially in real time as well. So the self-healing has 2 sides of it. One is when we just alert about things being in a non-compliant state or an error state, and other times when we actually will automatically remediate, take steps automatically to literally fix or remove or resolve that issue. We'll look back and forth at these things. We're going to start off on the self-service side. And there we go. End user satisfaction is one of the other things we can tick that off the box as well. We'll cover that in next week's video properly. Let's say that I'm an end user and I have a VPN here, but let's say something bad happens to my VPN, and apologies for the RDP and inception here. I'm on a box inside of a box, but it's just what I have to do. So I'm in as a regular user on this device, and somehow the VPN has gotten destroyed. I don't know how, and that means that I don't have a VPN anymore, and that's a problem for me. So I've been told when I have a problem that I go to ServiceNow. Go into ServiceNow, say I have a new issue, very important to me. I need a VPN. Put in an exclamation mark to show how serious I am. So often what is going to happen here is that ServiceNow is going to try and suggest things to you that you might want to read or do relevant to what it thinks is coming in here. These don't particularly help me, and often it's just going to be giving me a document, maybe like this one here, that will tell me how to set up the VPN. I probably don't even pay attention to those. I just want my VPN sorted. Now, as soon as I submit the incident in ServiceNow, and we can see it actually happened faster than the incident saved, Teams started messaging me, and I can see I have something here. Hi, you've just raised the following ticket in ServiceNow. I need a VPN. An analyst is being assigned to your ticket. In the meantime, here are some things you can try for yourself. Set up a VPN. So what has happened is that the short description of that ServiceNow incident was sent off to an AI with some NLP, which parsed it. In this case, it was the Luis Azure-based AI from Microsoft, and it parsed that string, said, oh, I think the user's trying to do this. It's the intent that's mapped to a number of instructions that we've sort of set up against that intent, and we think they probably want to set up a VPN. So they can click that button, and this is again where Tachyon's speed and power is kicking in. So it says it's running the instruction's already finished running. It successfully created the VPN, so that means my VPN is back now, and I can go and connect to that, and away I go, which is fantastic. Now I might have other things I want to do. Let's say I want to be an admin. I'm not an admin on this box. For whatever reason, I need admin access. So we're going to go in here and say I need admin access. Okay, and we'll scroll down again and submit, and immediately again the AI starts talking to me. Hey, do you want to elevate yourself to local admin? That is what I want to do. Okay, I'll do that. So I press that button, and again it says I'll run the instruction. The instruction's run, and it says you're added to the local admin group. Okay, cool. So I'm now in the local administrators group, and you can see that there's my user in as a local admin. So everything that you do in Tachyon is tracked and recorded, and all of this is tracked and recorded. Indeed, becoming an admin or doing whatever I might need, depending on how it's been set up, approvals to do that, and we could have that through the ServiceNow approval mechanism, for example. When you submit that type of request, well, I want to actually get that approved, and then the approval triggers the instruction to run, and all that kind of good stuff. But let's say I want to do something here that's a bit nefarious. I don't want to be recorded for whatever reason. I don't want the record to exist of me becoming an admin on this device. Now I'm an admin, I can do anything I want, right? So therefore, I've created another user called temp_admin, and basically this is a user that I created as an admin, and I'm going to add this user to the admin group. And then in future, I can log in as this user and I'll be an admin without needing to request it or have any record of that. So when I do that and say, okay, this is actually where the self-healing piece comes in, I immediately get this message, unauthorized action. Adding users to local admin groups must be done via Tachyon RSB, RSB standing for Real-Time Security Broker, which is the function of Tachyon. It's part of the base license. You'll find other blogs on Real-Time Security Broker. As you can see, it's telling me that adding users manually is not permitted. This action has been logged and undone. So we'll look at the undone bit first. If I look at administrators, temp_admin, that user's not there. Never actually got added. Well, it did. When it got added, that triggered one of those rules that we were looking at before in guaranteed state. So let's go and look at now. This was a sort of a self-healing action. The system took and reacted to that as a stimulus. So let's look for admin, and we can see that removing unauthorized admins is something that's set up in here. PC003 was the machine that I was using. So we'll click on there and we'll actually pull up the data to see what the situation is with that right now. So here we can see it's come back, and this is the local time on that box right now, 20 seconds ago, and it says Jason Kyo was logged in and tried to create this user temp_admin as an admin, and that was unauthorized. So the check failed. We'll look at that in a moment. And in the same second, the fix passed. So literally, when I pressed OK to add that user to the admin group, that pulled a trigger. Basically, we call them triggers in the rules, and that trigger caused the check to be run. The check said, okay, something is not right here, and that failure of the check caused the fix to be run, and then the fix passed and actually removed the user. So all of our rules inside of Tachyon have a similar sort of setup. So let's actually look at that particular rule. Remove unauthorized admins. We'll edit that rule. So in this case, there's no precondition. It will run on any device. We can actually have it just run on certain devices if we want. But when an account is added to the local administrators group, and that actually monitors for an event in the security event logs on the OS, it will check to see if the user was created by Real-Time Security Broker or not, and if it wasn't, it will remove unauthorized admin users. So effectively, we have our trigger. We don't have a precondition in this one. We've got a check and a fix. A rule without a fix, without an automated response, is called a check rule, and a rule that does have an automated response is called a fix rule. We'll look at another one here. This one resets config manager on error, so it has a trigger. We might actually add a precondition. So let's say we only want to do this if the CCM exec service is installed. Okay, so that's the SCCM service. Every 60 minutes, it will check to see if this file, the WUA handler log, has this text in it. Group policy settings were overwritten by a higher authority. If it has that text in it, then it will reset and repair the SCCM policy. So what this is doing is it will delete the registry.pol file. It will stop SCCM first because it can't delete it otherwise. It will delete the registry.pol file, start SCCM again, and then tell it to go and do a policy sync, which will download the policy again. This is a relatively frequently occurring error that is being monitored for and automatically remediated. You can see there's several fixes in here that relate to config manager, so SCCM or MEMCM, and basically we've got check rules that just report when there's problems, and we have fix rules that will automatically fix things as well, and that goes across a number of different areas of health, right? So there's different things in there. So WMI repository, health for Windows, free disk space, Defender definitions up to date. You can drill into any of these and see. PC002 here says it's out of date. It's been 195 days. That's well out of date since Windows has been updated, the Windows Defender. So all of these different rules can check for the health of the device, the security of the device, and can reduce the number of incidents that are going to happen with that device by automatically remediating and fixing problems or highlighting issues if there's something that needs to be taken care of. So that's our really quick overview of, so the reason this is all unknown actually is that I made a change to a policy and I didn't deploy it. So now I can deploy that config manager policy. Remember I changed the precondition in there. So now I'll redeploy it, and that will actually reassess the hosts because it didn't know what the status of the host was because it hadn't done that. So now you can see it's already checking through and making sure those devices are good, right? So it's just a refresh thing there. So this is our really, really quick look at juxtaposing the self-healing and the self-service and training the power that these things can bring to really empower your end users to get more done, and also to monitor devices to reduce the number of incidents and problems that they're going to have as well. So these are two elements of great end user experience, and the other two around service desk augmentation and sentiment monitoring we will look at next week. So thanks for your time.